Hello, I'm Yvette, the founder of superpowerschool.org, a benefit company based out of Portland, Oregon. And today I want to share with you the backstory behind what we're doing here because frankly, I recorded a video in 2021 while I was still in recovery from a huge brain injury and adrenal crisis in 2020 after my brother died on Christmas in 2019, and then 3 weeks later at the beginning of the pandemic, before we even knew what it was, my husband died all of a sudden. Found his body on the bathroom floor and tried to revive him for an hour. And then a few months later, my longtime mentor and the only father figure I've ever known also died. And so did my successful wedding catering business, which my staff had been my family for years. So suddenly I was sheltering in place at the loneliest time of my life. And it forced me to face old blocked trauma from childhood. And it also helped me recognize that toxic positivity was not serving me well. I had always thought I was the best at finding the shining light in a bad situation, the silver lining, so to speak. And I wrote a column called Bring Your Own Sunshine for a long time about how to be responsible for your own happiness. And all of that's wonderful, except for the part where there's toxic positivity involved in some of those cases. When you run willy-nilly without some backstory or education on positive psychology, you can really get it wrong, and I sure did. So I'm here to give you the better version of that story now that I feel better. It's 2022. We're still in the pandemic, but it's different now. People are becoming vaccinated, and those of us, I'm not in a situation where I can get vaccinated quite yet, so I'm still sheltering in place. But as soon as I'm out of the woods, which I'm getting there, every month I go back to the doctor, and the tests are coming back with very promising results. My adrenals are healing, and my memory's returning, and I've processed a lot of old grief, and all of that is in my rearview mirror. So I'm not really interested in having that video up circulating everywhere when this is really what's going on now. So I'm here to tell you that we had originally hoped to have ground chapters up and going by now, where people could be meeting weekly in a beautiful setting where they're learning about positive psychology and all the tips and tricks that work for a day-to-day living style that's full of promise for being equipped to handle whatever comes your way, and how to recover and bounce back faster than ever, because you've got these natural superpowers. Everybody's got them. They're like 24 strengths that we focus on here. And you concentrate on your top 5. We help you identify them, and we help you cultivate them and build muscles in those areas. So it might be something like having a great sense of humor, or valuing fairness, or being temperate, loving and appreciating excellence and beauty, or being kind. There's just all kinds of different superpowers out there. And it's important to identify what they are, because those are the tools that you need to use when something gets thrown at you that you weren't expecting. Life has curveballs. We all know that. You can't avoid them. Just think about it. Everybody went through a birth canal. You started out in this beautiful, warm, cozy, safe, ambient womb, and every single one of us got ripped out of there one way or another, and it wasn't fun. So nobody can tell me you haven't been traumatized. Everybody has. And then throw the pandemic into the mix, and everybody's been impacted one way or another. Either they've become anxious or depressed, or feel marginalized, or they lost their career path, or they ended up in a domestic situation that was violent because they were quarantined too much together, or they forgot how to be friendly to people because their social skills went or there's all kinds of things that happened during the pandemic to all of us. So what we do here at Superpower School now is we have a virtual classroom setting. We'll keep that up all the time. And then as we get to the point where it's safe to be around each other again, we'll open up those ground school options. And that's a business opportunity for you to consider. So in the meantime, let's focus on working together with this beautiful new option. So here's how it works. I have an education in positive psychology, and I get my curriculum through my own education and positivepsychology.com, which is based out of the Netherlands, and it's third wave science-based psychology. So what we do there is we talk about resilience and mindfulness and well-being, and we combine all these daily useful skills in a way that give you tools to take around, and something comes up and you know how to handle it better, and you just feel like a superhero by the time you get through this little crisis. And it's really just a pesky old fly buzzing around your head instead of the end-all be-all dragon that burns up your house. It's really that different. When you understand how to capitalize on your own skill set, you can make a difference in your own life right away. It doesn't take years of therapy. It doesn't take going back to your original trauma and sobbing and sucking your thumb for 6 months. It doesn't require all that. It requires attending a weekly class. You can come Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. They're all at different times. Some are in the evening, some are at lunch, some are at brunch, so that there's an option for you. You can come to all 3 classes, you can go to just one, whatever works for you. The same lessons taught every day that week. So wherever you are, whatever time you take the class, it's still the same. And what we gear it up for is a good 15-20 minute session in something practical, something you can apply immediately. And then the rest of the hour you can be bonding with the other classmates, or you can talk about your business and build relationships with people. You can set up community structures and support each other, and embrace the seniors in the crowd, and just participate. And it's a beautiful thing. So these online classes are meant to bridge the gap between being physically in the same place at an actual Superpower School chapter on the ground. And it also works well to feather together with our podcast suite. We have interviews with experts, and we have some silly variety show stuff to make you laugh, because laughter is the best medicine. And we interview musicians and artists, and we do all kinds of different things depending on which podcast you listen to. So we have that, and we also have an app that gives you on-the-go support, especially if you're, say, for example, riding down the road and all of a sudden you get a panic attack because, it's been really hard to understand what you can count on these days. And our foundations are a little rocky without understanding, what's going to come next in the world. So with this little app, you just go find, the anxiety tab and open that up. There might be a little meditation you listen to, or some reminder to breathe, or how to get your mind back to the present, because anxiety is riddled with worrying about things you can't control in the future. So we do something for that. We also have some support for depression. We also have wellness stuff coming up. We have recipes and tips for fine living, and it's all manageable. It's just one chunk at a time. It's really not that hard. So we help you break it down, and that's what our app does. We also have a closed Facebook group that people are already participating in right now, building friendships and supporting each other through surgeries and losing loved ones and losing your career path and being afraid to go outside and being afraid to stay home, and whatever that might look like. And it's been very empowering for people to be a member of that group. And we have a YouTube channel as well. And our website has a blog on it, so there's just all kinds of resources out there. I just wanted to share that with you today, because a lot of times if someone comes from a background with, well, I guess the best way to explain it would be like being fed with a silver spoon. I'm not that person. I understand how it feels. I've probably experienced something that you're going through and overcome it somehow, grieved about it, stuffed it in the background until it made me sick, that kind of stuff. There's a good chance that I understand where you're coming from. And while I can't be your one-on-one therapist or your one-on-one coach, I do offer this curriculum, and it's all geared with practical life experience in mind. It's for the real people in the world. It's not book smarts. I did have a formal education in positive psychology. However, street smarts really do help us get through these unknown times. And so we combine the two here at Superpower School to make sure that we're well-rounded and empathetic and compassionate, and we know when to pull up our bootstraps and we know when to cry. And I invite you to join us today. There'll be a lot of information on our website, superpowerschool.org, and you can also watch lots of videos over at YouTube and on Facebook. Have a good day.